Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is the Broward County Black Chamber of Commerce as we proceed with our procurement series for 2023. My name is Shahiwa Jarrett Gellin. I'm the president of the chamber, and we're doing this series this year kind of as a continuation of a series we started back in, I want to say 2019, actually, where we did a procurement series with some of the major anchor institutions in the county of Broward. And then we followed that through in 2020 and 2021 with some sessions with some private corporations and some cities. And we wanted to continue the series through in 2022 and now 2023 with kind of continuing to focus on our cities. And the city of Sunrise is the second city that we're doing and featuring this year. The procurement process is different, with each city. And we want to make sure you know what systems they're using, how to register as a vendor, any special programs the city may have to encourage business growth and to encourage small business owners to set up in their city, as well as understand the procurement process and upcoming opportunities. There's money to be made, not only in the private sector, but in the public sector as well. And so we're really excited to continue our series with the city of Sunrise tonight. We have a special speaker. We have John Curran. I know he will correct me if I said that wrong, who is the procurement manager for the city of Sunrise. And so we're extremely happy to have him here with us tonight to kind of once again explain what it means to do business with the city of Sunrise and to talk about any upcoming opportunities. So John, I'm going to invite you to come on, hop off mute. And if you want to put your video on so we can see you, and then just talk a little bit about yourself so we can know a little bit about you as a person, and then get into your presentation about doing business with the city of Sunrise. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Shahiwa. Can you see that I turned the video on? Can you see me?
I don't see you yet.
You don't. Okay, let's see here. Bear with me, guys. I'm a little inexperienced at Zoom. We use GoToMeeting here in the city of Sunrise.
Yeah, you can hit start video right next to the unmute button. It should be next to the mute button.
Start video.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, all right. All right, success. Well, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me on tonight and giving me the opportunity to talk to you all about doing business with the city of Sunrise. As Shahiwa said, my name is John Curran, and I've been with the city of Sunrise for about 8 years. I started out as a construction procurement specialist here in the city. And over the years, I've worked my way up to the procurement manager. Been here for 8 years. I love it. I don't think that there is any other place I would rather be. City of Sunrise is a great place to work. And I love coming here every day and helping the citizens of Sunrise get exactly what they need. So Shahiwa, I think you answered my first question. Have any other cities presented to you guys in the past? So someone else presented to you?
Yes, we've this year we had an in-person presentation by the city of Lauderhill.
Okay.
But in the past we've done Tamarack, Lauderdale Lakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are old hat at this now. If you hear enough of these, you're going to hear all the similarities between our presentations, I guess. So can I ask the members, does anybody currently have a governmental contract with anybody here in South Florida?
I don't see any hands. I see Jay Reynolds put up his thumb. He says, yes, he has a contract.
Oh, he has a contract. Okay, so he's my experienced member that I'll be talking to. So Jay, correct me if I'm wrong. Who do you have a contract with?
I have a contract with the city of Coral Springs. I have a contract with Broward County. I have a contract with that would be relevant. City of Deerfield.
Oh my goodness, okay. You have a lot of contracts.
Not
Can I ask what
nearly
they're-
enough revenues generated, though.
Okay.
In lies my problem.
I can't help you with that part, but hopefully I can help you get something with the city of Sunrise.
Ashley
Um,
raised her hand too. It said she had a contract, Ashley.
Okay, so some of you guys know what it is to do business with a governmental entity, and you know it's not the easiest thing, but once you make it over all the hurdles, I think it can be pretty rewarding for everybody but Jay. So hopefully I'm going to share some things about Sunrise with everybody tonight and give you guys some insight into doing business with us. So tonight I just want to give you all a high-level overview of the topics listed on the slide below. I'm going to give you a very brief city overview because I know you guys all live in Broward County, so you're kind of familiar with Sunrise. I'm going to give you an overview of the purchasing department. I want to talk about our NIGP Southeast Florida chapter reverse trade show, which is very important, I think, for an organization like the Black Chamber of Commerce to be familiar with. This is a tool that can really help you guys connect with all the governmental entities in South Florida and hopefully grow your business. One of the things I want to touch on tonight is mutual business interest. And Jay and Ashley, I know that you've already identified that we have a mutual business interest. So that's very important because as a governmental entity, we are not at liberty just to reach out and buy things. We have to advertise and solicit the items that we need from the business community, and we rely on you guys to respond to us. So it's always beneficial if you guys can understand the mutual business interest between your business and the governmental entities. I want to talk a little bit about our contract list here in the city of Sunrise. I want to talk about our third-party bidding platform, which is called Demand Star. Touch very briefly on the Sun Sentinel, where we place a lot of our ads, and then I'll take your questions. So the city overview. So City of Sunrise is home to approximately 98,000 residents, and we are host to several million national and international visitors each year. Sunrise is the home to the second most visited tourist site in Florida, which would be the Sawgrass Mills Mall. I don't know if not everybody's aware of that Sunrise is a very busy gateway between, say, South America and South Florida. You know, millions of people come to the Sawgrass Mills Mall every year. They buy things and they end up going home and bringing them back to their home country. We are the 8th largest city in Broward County and the 24th largest city in Florida. We have a staff of approximately 1,160 people, and we have an adopted budget this year of $435.4 million. So we're not geographically large, but we are large in terms of population and budget. And hopefully you guys will be able to get a sense of that as we go further through the presentation. We have our own fire department with 5 stations. We handle approximately 15,000 emergency calls annually. The city's police department is Florida accredited law enforcement. The City of Sunrise, we manage 250 acres of municipal green space, from small municipal parks to large facilities with a full range of amenities. Additionally, within the city, we have 4 public pools, a golf course, a tennis center, a theater, a senior center, an art gallery, most located on the City Hall campus on Oakland Park Boulevard. Our utility service area spans approximately 70 square miles. It encompasses Sunrise, Southwest Ranches, Weston, and portions of Davie. We serve more than 215,000 residential and commercial customers through our water system. We have 770 miles of distribution mains, 500 miles of sewer pipe, 216 wastewater pump stations, 3 water treatment facilities, and 4 water repump facilities. We also provide natural gas to over 10,000 customers a year. So in terms of the purchasing office, we support every department in the city. We're a centralized purchasing office, and we have 8 staff members. We are located on the 3rd floor of City Hall. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We spend, last year we spent over $115 million of that city budget. And we do it through a number of different vehicles. We have bids, requests for proposals, requests for qualifications, quotes. We have a city credit card where we have about 150 people carrying the City of Sunrise credit card. We do a lot of grant-related procurements. We do some best value procurements. We dispose of all the surplus equipment and vehicles in the city when they're determined to have no longer a good use for us. And we also issue purchase orders throughout the year. So with so many of you guys knowing about governmental purchasing, do you guys want me to explain to you what a bid is, what an RFP, an RFQ? I'm not sure if you guys want me to get to that granular level, but if you do want that, you can ask a question afterwards, and we'll take care of that for you. The thresholds. So if you're carrying around a city credit card, you can spend up to $1,000, and you can spend about $5,000 a month before it will cap out. If you're a department within the city, you can order up to $2,500 worth of goods and services with 1 quote. When you get beyond $2,500, that's when purchasing gets involved, and we require 3 quotes from vendors, and that range would be from $2,500 up to $25,000. If you're within that category, we would require 3 quotes, and we would award it to the lowest bidder or the best value, depending on which way we advertise that. A formal bid, which is advertised in the newspaper and on our third-party bidding platform, is over $25,000. The purchasing office also has a monthly vendor workshop on the first Friday of each month. And the staff member who gives that will give it in either English or Spanish, whichever you're more comfortable with. And she gets down to very granular detail about insurance requirements and references and all sorts of neat stuff like that. You can ask her anything during that meeting, and she will do her best to answer that for you. So Jay and Ashley, you guys, Jay, especially you, you have a number of contracts in South Florida. So would you consider them to be piggyback contracts where anybody can hop on those contracts?
Well, yeah, probably not. I don't know the answer to that, but let me just tell you what they are. They're contracts where we provide staffing both on a permanent and temporary basis. I own a staffing company. So
Okay.
we went through an RFP process where we basically went through an RFP process and competed with other companies and basically won those contracts. City of Cold Springs, the City of Deerfield, and Executive Search in Broward County. So I don't know that those would qualify to have to be piggybacked upon pure from the perspective of somebody outside piggybacking on mine. I was not able to piggyback on someone else's as we were trying to bid for this for the staffing business. I don't know if that answers your question or not, but that's how I see it.
No, I think we're very close, Jay. So you have obviously contracts with some of these cities.
I do.
Okay. So in those contracts, you should check and see if there's a line in there that says that other members of the Southeast Florida Cooperative can piggyback off those contracts, because if that line is in there or something to that effect, the city of Sunrise could then call you and say, hey, Jay, I see you have a contract with Coral Springs. We like your pricing. If you would extend that to the city of Sunrise, we would like to piggyback your contract. And we would not have to go through the competitive procurement process at that point.
Got you. And I didn't understand the question. I understand the question much better now. And
Okay.
I'll take a look at those contracts to find out if that's available to me.
Yeah, so and this is really for everybody. If you are lucky enough, like Jay and Ashley, to win a governmental contract in South Florida, it would be in your best interest to make sure that in your contract, there is a line there that gives other people the ability to piggyback off it. And that way, somebody like me who wants to procure your services would not have to go through the competitive solicitation process. Again, it's your ability to reach many people and save time and effort for both yourself and for the governmental entity who you wish to do business with.
Can I ask you this question? Let's say, for example, that does exist. We
Mhm.
have there's a line that allows me to for other entities to piggyback on my contract. Is that something that I can proactively go out and talk to people about, or have discussions about, versus just kind of sitting and waiting for it to happen? Probably the best thing for me, if that's allowed, is to proactively have those kinds of discussions.
That's it, Jay. You just hit the nail on the head. You have a contract. If you have the ability, if that line is in there or that statement is in there that we can all piggyback off it, you can then reach out to, different cities in Florida and say, hey guys, I have a contract that you can piggyback off of for staffing services. If you would like the information, I can send it to you. And then at that point, you can promote your business, and with the knowledge that, people can just directly do business with you at that point. They would not have to go through their governing boards, their city commissions, or anything else. They would not have to put out an RFP or solicit in any way, shape, or form. So Jay, you're in a good position. You're in a driver's seat there. If you want, after the meeting, we could talk more about it. But yeah, you should definitely be reaching out to people and saying, hey, this is what my company offers, and here's how you can do it easily.
I've heard that, but I always thought it was driven by the entity looking for us versus me having the ability to proactively go after them. You know what I mean? I've heard this, but now I have a much deeper understanding. Hey, that is in and of itself worth the price of admission. So
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, and Jay, you're right. Remember, we're not going to buy it unless we need it at that time. But if you if you called me and said, hey, John, I have this contract for staffing services, it's piggybackable, it is with the city of Lauderhill, and it is valid for the next 2 years, then I know in the next 2 years, if I ever need staffing services, I can call your company and do business with you and save my staff and myself a lot of time and energy, going forward. You can put a bug in people's ears, Jay. They might not need staffing services right then and there, but you will be on their radar. Anybody who tells me that they have a piggybackable contract that has been approved by another agency, you believe me, I write the name of that company down, because if I need you in the future, I call you guys first.
Yeah, well, exactly, John. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you very much. That was really good information for me.
Good. I'm glad.
Thank you, John. We just have one other question from
Yeah.
Wendy. How do you advertise the I guess services or products that you all are soliciting that are under $2,500? How would people find out about that? How is that advertised?
So under $2,500, the departments can call, and they can call your company and they can ask you for a quote on those goods or services. We don't necessarily advertise the things under $2,500. So the things under $2,500, you could, having a business, and if you think that we have a mutual business interest, of course, you could send your information into whatever department it is that you think would do that kind of business. So Wendy, I'm not sure what kind of business you have, but if you sold, say, t-shirts, or say you sold work shirts, and you knew that our utilities department would be a customer of yours, you could send your information into the utilities department, and they might call you up and say, hey, we'd like to learn a little bit more about your company or your products, or something like that. And they could do business with you through a purchase order in the city. Of course, they'll contact us at a certain point for a purchase order, but and we would make sure, we would run your business through all sorts of the checks that we do here in the government. But you through your contacts, if you are an under $2,500 vendor, you can reach out to departments that you think would be you would be doing business with. I hope that answers your question. If not, Wendy, just let me know and we'll take another shot at it. Another important thing here I wanted to talk about, guys, was the reverse trade show. The City of Sunrise is a member of the National Institute of Governmental Purchasing. We are in the Southeast Florida chapter, and every 2 years, we have a thing called the reverse trade show. Usually a trade show is where vendors set up tables and they give away things and they tell people about their business. Well, a reverse trade show is all the governmental entities in South Florida get together, and we usually do it at the Coral Springs in the gymnasium. We've done it there for the past 8 years that I know of. It's never been anywhere else. So what happens is about 40 governmental purchasing agencies get together in that gym. We all set up a table or two, and you, the vendors, can come in and meet all of us at one time. You guys come in with a stack of business cards. If you have a sample of your product, you would come in and you would be able to meet with every city, every school board, every state agency, every county, like the school board of Broward County, the airports, the seaports, everybody, and we're all in one room. So I think that's an invaluable tool for you guys. It gives you exposure. If you're trying to do governmental business, it gives you exposure from everybody from Palm Beach down to Monroe County, all in one room. and you guys can walk around, spend a whole day, and talk to and meet every purchasing manager, purchasing director, staff people, all in one spot. You can learn, how to receive bid notifications and the response process. Everything I'm talking to you guys here about tonight, you can learn at that reverse trade show in a couple of minutes, just by talking to people from that entity. You can learn the different types of goods and services that are purchased by each. You might have a product, but it might not be exactly what people buy. So maybe, you switch up your business model. I don't know. I don't know if you would be that aggressive in seeking our business like that, but it's a great opportunity to promote your business in one place. All right, so next slide, mutual business interest. Oh my goodness, I'm running really long. So again, guys, I took the liberty of going onto your website and I cut a lot of these things out of your website. So these are a sampling of the businesses that I do business with on a daily basis. Architectural and design, building and professional services, advertising people, cleaning services, medical supply. Our fire department buys medical supplies all the time. Contractors, construction equipment, consultants, counselors, fitness people. We have a full service gym over here in the city of Sunrise on city property. So we were looking for, I remember about 6 months ago, we were looking for trainers to work in the gym, and we were going to do like a revenue sharing thing where, you could charge people a fee and the city would charge you something like $5, and then you guys keep the rest of the money. So real estate services, security services, staffing, staffing companies. So I hope I didn't leave anybody out. I try to capture as many as I could, and these are just the broad groups. So within those groups, I don't know if you guys actually have products, but for us, but these are the types of people that we do business with on a regular basis. And at the end of the presentation, guys, I'm going to give you a couple of links to a couple of websites, and one of them is going to be a link to the city's website. On there, you can find the City of Sunrise contract list. Our contract list, and this is just a very small sample of it, it tells you the name of the contract, what department, if it was a bid, and then we have a contract number here, an expiration date. You can see when the contracts are expiring. And if it's something that you have that you want to sell, you'll know that, hey, maybe not this year is an opportunity, but maybe next year there could be an opportunity. It tells you the current vendor and how it was approved in the city. Now, there's about 10 entries here. There are 423 lines to our contract list. So it's pretty voluminous. And it's great reading if you want to fall asleep late at night. But you guys can check that out if you have a mutual business interest with the city. 423 lines. Some of them are duplicates, but most aren't. Demand Star. Demand Star is our third-party bidding platform. If you are interested in doing business with the City of Sunrise, you could go to Demand Star's website and register your business. It would be free. You get one entity for free. So you could register for the City of Sunrise and you would see everything that we put out to bid. You'll actually get an email to your inbox that tells you, hey, the City of Sunrise is looking for the following service or products. These third-party bidding platforms are invaluable for you guys who are looking to grow your business. There are probably 5 of these things that people would actually use. DemandStar is one of the larger ones, but if you are looking to do governmental business, you want to have as many of these in your toolbox as you can, because that way you'll know when things are coming out for bid. Okay. And we also advertise on the Sun Sentinel, and I'll show you what those look like in a second. This is a peek inside DemandStar, and I took this yesterday. So on the left-hand side here, it says active bids, residential beautification services. So we're looking for people to install trees for one of our grant programs. So if you're a landscaper or an arborist and you install trees, we would be interested in having you read this bid. Ladder testing equipment for our fire department, something for our water treatment plants, firing range cleaning for our police department, another job for our water plants, and then upcoming we have our fleet management and maintenance contract, which is a very large contract here in the city to take care of all the city vehicles. But this would show you what bids are active and if anything is upcoming. And, you know, I read the dashboard over here. It tells you, you know, how many bids were opened and awarded on a monthly basis. But this gives you a little peek inside DemandStar. Now, once you get into, say you were a landscaper and you did install trees and you were interested in this bid, you could click on it, open it, and it would take you right to the bid documents. So you could read all the specifications that the city has and all the requirements and decide if it's an opportunity that you would be interested in. This is actually inside one of the bids. This is that residential beautification services. So it tells you who is the bid writer. Cheryl McCalla, one of our procurement specialists here, is the bid writer for this. It's a quote and it is due on April 21st. So it's actually coming up. And here are the bid documents down here. So if you wanted to double click on those, it would take you right inside the specifications that the city is looking for. Unfortunately, we didn't have any current advertisements on the Sun Sentinel, but if you go in there, it'll say advertisement for bids. And if you look here, the school board of Broward County is looking for somebody for smart program renovations. City of Oakland Park is looking for, I believe professional engineering services. So they're looking for a consultant. And then we have Coral Springs, who is looking for, what are they looking for? Chemicals for their water treatment plant. So when you see these things in the Sun Sentinel, it'll tell you exactly what the city is looking for, how to get in contact with us, when does the bid open, and usually if you are interested, you can follow up on this information and make a call to the city and get the information that you need. So that is it in a nutshell. I went a little long, but does anybody have any questions?
I'll see if anybody has any, if anyone is raising their hands. I do want to let you know that Wendy said that she provides facility supplies and said that your response made sense. And she said, thank you. And that she's currently registered with the city, I guess, as a vendor. So
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I'll see if anybody else has their hand up or if anybody has any comments. I did have a question, John. So the threshold that is required in order to have the city commission approval on an expense, what is that? Is that the $25,000?
That's $25,000. So if we buy something from you and it costs over $25,000, we need our city commission to approve that purchase. So we write up an agenda item and we take it to a city commission meeting.
Okay, perfect. And and I learned a lot too with Jay. You know, I'm with Jay. I didn't know you all had a monthly meeting or a weekly meeting with someone explaining procurement and kind of going through the detailed process. So I'll get that information from you because I'd love to share that with, you know, my members, because I know some of us can't, you know, maybe make it at, you know, nighttime, maybe more, you know, convenient for some, and others may, you know, can come during the day or whatever when you all are doing your presentation. So that may make sense.
Sure.
I want to share that.
That would be awesome. We would love to have you guys.
Yeah.
We're always looking for vendors, contractors, consultants. You know, the pool can never be large enough.
Yeah. I see, Jay, you have your hand up again. You're active.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Shahiwa. And John, thank you very much for the information. I do want to continue to look behind the curtain though.
Sure.
So my question to you is this: let's say, for example, specifically in my business, staffing, and you know, there are RFPs where you go through the process and you get the RFPs and you do staffing, temporary or permanent, for the city. However, we just determined that now you can piggyback. What happens when you have one-off? Let's say, for example, you're looking for, I don't know, let's call it a director of finance, right? And now you know that there's someone that you don't have to go through an RFP process or a bidding process. How do you go about, because you're the keeper of that gate, right? What do you do now, let's say, for example, to fill that position, if in fact it's a one-off, it's not like an RFP, it's not like multiple positions, it's one position. What are you doing to kind of fill those positions today?
So right now, Jay, our HR department usually runs point on those. Not to say that, you know, I don't get requests often to find a consultant to help us find, you know, the next police chief or whoever. But, you know, we usually do that with the help of HR and our city manager's office. But of course, we would never know about your company if you didn't, you know, send us something to make us aware of you. So, you know, that's why I say it's important for you to, you know, blast your information all around South Florida. And, you know, if those contracts are piggybackable, you're in a great position.
Absolutely. I will take that direction. So thanks very much, John.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, John. John, go ahead if you wanted to.
No, I just wanted to give you guys a couple of these. And Shahiwa, I will email you this presentation so you can send it out to the members or whatever you want to do. It's got some links here. The City of Sunrise link. It's got a Demand Star link, and it's also got a vendor registration link. Of course, you know, if you don't have a mutual business interest, though, we would ask you not to sign up through here, because there's really no benefit to you to sign up in the city's vendor database unless we are doing business or could potentially be doing business.
Oh, exactly. No, thank you, John. And I had a few questions, and I think I'm just at the age where things slip my mind. But I'll be sure to follow up with you. I thank you for this this presentation. Oh, here it came to my mind. Do you all in the city have a like a local preference program? So if you're a business that is set up in the city of Sunrise, do you get extra points, or is there any type of program you have that you know, has a preference for small business, like a small business program? Do you have either of those?
We do not. We
Okay.
do not have an official program. We do, not to say that we're not friendly to small businesses in Sunrise. If we were presenting an item to City Commission and it was from a Sunrise business, we do note that on the agenda item.
Okay.
And we also note that if any Sunrise businesses were solicited for business, we also have a small business academy. If you are a business within the limits of the city of Sunrise, you could sign up for the Small Business Academy, where you would go through some marketing training, business training, how to do business with the city, and some other things like HR. I think they touch on some HR topics. But I heard that's a really good program for small businesses. But again, you have to be a Sunrise small business. So I know that doesn't affect everybody there.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Are there any other questions, or I don't see any other questions in the chat. So I'm going to say thank you, John, for taking out this time to present to us. We appreciate it. As our members know, and those who kind of hop on and join us to learn about the different opportunities, each city and each agency has its own, process or system that it uses. So it's very helpful to have someone come in and kind of walk us through that. And also thank you for telling us about the reverse trade show. I've heard about it and people have told me about it, but I did not know that there are individuals there from Palm Beach all the way down to Monroe County who are there. Their agencies are represented there. So that would be actually a very good event for us to attend with everyone in that one space. I think that's awesome. And that's something that we'll also put out to everybody once it comes up. I guess in 2025, you guys do it every other year.
Yeah, 2025 will be our next one. Unfortunately, you guys just missed one. We had one earlier in the year, but
Okay.
Again, thank you very much for the opportunity, guys. I hope to see you guys in the future. And if you have any questions, call the purchasing office here in the city of Sunrise. You can email. I will put my email address on the presentation, and Shahiwa has it as well. If you guys have any questions or want to reach out in any way, shape, or form, please don't hesitate.
All right. Thank you again, John. Let's give John a wonderful virtual applause. I know this is after hours, so I really appreciate it. And want to thank you again for doing this. For those of you who are keeping up, our next city is the city of Miramar. And we probably will be live, but I'll let you all know that will be in July. And our last city for this year is the city of Hollywood, which will be in October. So we're kind of spacing them out to give you all an opportunity to attend. For those of you who are new members or want to get involved in committees, etc., with the chamber, we are having an in-person new member orientation and open house next Tuesday. So please check the newsletter for that, as well as John's presentation, which I will include in the next newsletter as well. So thank you once again, John, and I'll see you all next week at our in-person event on Tuesday. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank
night.
you. Me in this cold.
Good night, Shahiwa. Thanks.
Good night. Jay, you got to make it to our next meeting.
I know. It's just been kind of crazy. It's kind of, I do apologize. Friday?
No, that's fine.
Friday?
Yeah, Friday at 11. Yeah, we do have, that's our next meeting.
I'll be there.
Okay.